Top of the morning, my fellow peasants. How you doing? Signing in here from Costa del Sol, where we be chilling in the sun and the sea. Party of 3. Hojo getting sweaty. But what's good, guys? Oh, I can see my monitor reflecting off my shades. Hope our hair engaged. Today, I want to do a very new kind of video, and how it plays out, it might be naff, it might be really cool, it might be really all over the place, but basically my idea is I want to be able to speak to you guys on a far more dynamic, free and kind of less scripted way. And to be able to indeed do topics and talk about stuff and look at artwork and old trailers and videos and do character introspections, retrospections, inverted spections, cutscene dives, lore dives, all of that shit, without necessarily having to do it as its own individual video. So I came up with the Altocrystarium. Or should I say, I thieved and coined the term in which you, my delicious, beautiful pezzers, you can phantoma submit whatever you like to it. So do it in the comment section below, because this is basically, I'll take multiple topics and I'm just going to talk about them freely and openly. There'll be different ones, so it's going to be pretty jumpy and all over the place. But first up on the agenda, the first file that I would like to docket into today's discussion. And I'm a bit late to this party, but it's the topic of Nobu Uematsu and the Airbuster. So I have had a lot of people come to me saying, Pez, I want you to do a video on this. I want to know your opinion. Are you hyped? Are you excited for seeing the Airbuster? And by the way, this was left accidentally on the back of, well, I don't know if it was accidentally, of Hamaguchi, Naoki Hamaguchi's computer screen. Now, I can't find a better resolution one than this, but supposedly I've heard some people say if you look real closely, I haven't been able to find it myself, you can spot Tifa in the background. But regardless, seeing this, of course it made me excited. Whenever I see anything new about the remake, anything, I just get this wash of kind of surrealism. I still can't believe it's happening. Either Square are geniuses or dumb enough to do it. I'm not quite sure which, and we will find out. And this is kind of where I want to link Uematsu and the Airbuster together. I want to talk about faithfulness to the remake, and I've really been flipping from side to side on, because on one side we hear a lot of dialogue along the lines of it's changing, it won't be like the original, we're going to be drawing down and breaking influences from the universe, we're going to be looking to change things, we're going to look to shock and surprise even the original fans, and I know they've changed the combat system beyond recognition, in fact. So there's a lot of that kind of dialogue, which has a lot of people worried, especially the ones who wanted a like for like. It's completely shattered their hopes. But then on the flip side, there is a dialogue of faithfulness, that we are trying to keep the original tone and feeling, and our focus is really on making it so even the original fans can identify their beloved FF7, yada yada, so on and so forth. And I gotta say, when we first saw the trailers, they were so faithful. That's the one thing I've been holding on to that hasn't really scared me, because they were so faithful to the original. Even stood in the same positions, the explosions had the same way, there was the same features and landmarks, and Cloud even did the same flip off the train, and Jesse with the boot. So Jesus. We need to get a new green screen. So there's also that kind of dialogue, and that's really given me a lot of confidence. And now that I see the Airbuster so faithfully remade, because I mean, it does look like him. I mean, considering this is the only thing we've seen since the CyberConnect breakup, and it looks fairly much the same, it gives me some degree of hope that there's faithfulness, and that's where I can only think Nobu Uematsu also supports this idea, because there's no way they would bring back Uematsu, who hasn't worked in Final Fantasy or Square Enix for a long time at this point. I mean, not to say he hasn't done stuff, the occasional FF14 song or mobile song on the side, but bar that, he's mostly been a man of the orchestra, of the theatre, travelling with distant worlds, and that's really where Uematsu has found his position as a composer now, and he loves it. And to see him coming back for the remake, the nature and extent of which we don't know too much of, but even Katase said the last time he worked with Uematsu was back in Final Fantasy X. So it's going to be really interesting to see him brought back, but I can think the only reason why they would do it is if they're looking to bring and ensure that the heart, the soul, the character and the sound of FF7 from the original is recreated in a way that, you know, somebody who understands it can remake it, and no one understands it better than Uematsu. Now, not to say that, I think that a lot of people think this, that this means that we're going to have an FF7 remake that sounds like our original. You know, I really don't think our Cosmo canon is still going to be just because he's back. I don't think that means that our songs are necessarily going to sound like they used to back in, you know, the old MIDI days. Just remade, recreated HD upscaled versions of those. I do think he could still end up switching it up. I think he's going to have to, depending on the extent of his involvement. Though this is being split across multiple projects and multiple full-size games, and to me that means that there's going to be a lot more scenes, continents, content that needs new music, brand new music, or indeed they could just go down the route of doing multiple versions, multiple calm themes, etc. But what I would also say, I think this means is, I mean, is Nobuo Uematsu, he is a composer, especially more than he ever used to be. You know, this has kind of pushed him into the composing career, and that's really where his career has taken off since FF7 days, because there's no way he's going to be approaching and tackling this the same way he used to. Now, back in the day, I remember the story, I think it was Uematsu saying that they locked themselves in a room for about a day and a half, and they wouldn't let themselves out until they had created 13 songs. 13 with Final Fantasy VII, and indeed when the songs were so simplistic and basic, you could do it, you could bust them out. But now I really think that with Uematsu being on board, we are going to have these really long, flowing, eloquent, orchestral pieces, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's beautiful. I'm really excited about that, especially with how many connections. I expect his influence is going to go some way, and indeed his personal taste is really going to rub off now on the remake, and I like that because I love Final Fantasy XII, which was a very orchestral soundtrack, very emotional, very flowing, but I'm going to say not memorable. Not memorable, or at least not memorable for most people, because when you've got such complex songs and melodies, it's just not like those old songs which were so repetitive and distinctive and kind of catchy that they just really stuck in people's heads, and that's gonna be the difference. And I really hope that the fan base, or should I say the fanboys, because I think the fan base is actually surprisingly more open-minded there than the very vocal fanboys would be. When I say fanboys, I'm talking about those ones who are so incensed with how the original used to be, and that their core belief is that everything in the remake should just be like it was in the original. And I think that when they hear the sound is very different and it doesn't connect in your brain the same way, this excitement of having Uematsu back, even if he does redo the old songs and he keeps them, like the old FF7 songs, I think it could come across completely different, sound different, and it might not necessarily be the exciting thing you're after, or indeed that might be exactly what you're after. So there we go. That's what I think about Uematsu and the Airbuster. Sorry. Could be showing and portraying to us real degrees of faithfulness and Square's attempt to keep it very organic and faithful to the original, or it could be just about anything else, mate. Next up, next file, I'd like to discuss Dissidia Opera Omnia. 2 million downloads. Oh, I mean, it's no Brave Exodus and Mobius, or indeed FF15 A New Empire, which, to think that that game has garnered 5 times the number of downloads than Opera Omnia, it's fucking depressing, quite frankly. Now, I hadn't played Dissidia Opera Omnia before just the other day, but hearing it get 2 million downloads finally inspired me to give it a try, and I've got to say I'm so glad I did. I had so many people saying it's really great, you have to give it a try. The music is absolutely the biggest draw for me. It's all there, all of the old battle themes from across the franchise. There's 47 characters in total now, though I think that might be going up with Lightning, Kyan and Papalimo because of the 2 million downloads. But I've got to say, I just loved it. I just absolutely loved this game. It was so fun. I'm basically just here to hype and fanboy over it. The action and the combat, despite being at no early level, which is typically the most boring part in any game, it was pretty engaging and some really cool features and aspects, which I'm sure are just going to do nothing but expand. I didn't get the huge overwhelmingness. The word? I didn't feel as overwhelmed as I did when I usually play these mobile games, because they are just so cram-packed full of features. Yeah, I just wanted to give like a little mini review of it, show you guys some of the gameplay, maybe inspire some of you to play it, because of all of the collab games that collab all of the Final Fantasy characters together and usually attempt to tether them with a very poorly threaded story, and this is based on Dissidia NT, so you have all your HP attacks, brave attacks, or a remolded version of those mechanics. The story here actually works. They've actually added some good dialogue, some actual good scripting, which compared to Dissidia NT, I do not know what you was doing with that story, Square. Oh my god, that story was shit. I'm gonna say it. I love Dissidia NT. Love the mechanics, hate the queue timer, still cannot stand the queue timer, but the storyline was absolute pants. Total pants. That's the best you could come up with. I mean, my expectations were about as low as anyone gets. You didn't express any of the motives of Materia or Spiritas. You didn't even really script the scenes that well. About the best thing I remember from the Dissidia NT storyline was the Trance Trio. The Trance Trio was absolutely the jambalam of jams. Woo! About the only time I felt excitement in that storyline. But Dissidia Opera Omnia is a really refreshing split off from that. I really enjoyed it. Here's a few minutes of my gameplay. Initial clear bonus. Wow! Yay! Reward me. Clear within 15 turns. Oh, here we go. Alright, what you got? A goblin! Allow me to hand this. Kupo! And allow me to teach you how to fight. I know instinctively how to fight. Let me at him. HP attack. Yeah, and then that will do actual damage. Yeah, same as Dissidia NT. Everyone gets break bonuses, Kupo. Ooh. I'm loving the energy of this game. I'm gonna click here and mess this guy up. I'm gonna do it all wrong, intentionally. Alright, HP attack. Finishing VV. Woohoo! Hey! Oh yeah! Oh! Oh, I'm never gonna get tired of that. Oh! Oh, that's very cinematically sweet. Oi! Oh man, this game's exciting. It's an Giant Kupo! What's that for that thing in my channel? Alright, calm down, Mog. We've got this. You shine a shield to protect Vivi! We must save Vivi! Ooh, nice. Hey! Is that a man? Is that man a friend? Is that a man friend? Mister, we're over here. Hey! Sass. Dream. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yes, good. Filthy rats. Little do they know, should all go according to plan. Soon they'll be dancing to the beat of my drum. Oh, what a spectacular show it will be. Fabulous. Fabulous, Cooper. Beat rush. Oh yeah! I'm gonna lay this mighty, fat HP attack of doom! Overkilled the shit out of that goblin. Alright. God damn. Co-op quests. Oh dear. Lag? Crash? What? Huh? Pourquoi? Install? What shit doth you chat, App Store? Please kindly note that while this game is free, certain maps are not. Oh, I think we had a little crash there, guys. Hopefully all will be well. Don't fucking start with me. So to tell a limited time chess game. You can always stream your phone on PC if your emulator is crashing. It's much easier. Yeah, but this, I can't do this. It's why I don't play mobile games. Although it may be a simpler option than this. Fuck! Gone, Valve notifications. Be gone! Are we clear? Hey! We're in! Here we go. Oh, yeah! Yeah, no, it's dropped, but the shell has remained. Sweet. Pepper of Angus, guys. Yes to this game! Oh, yeah! Lightning Lash. That was a close one, Kumo! Counter with a summon! A summon? Right, go. Quee! Fucking quee him! Oh, yes! While your summon is active, your allies' match bravery increases for a set amount of times. Oh, match bravery is up. Yeah! Into the next phase. Done. Ah! Oh! Was a celebration for 2 million downloads. Dissidia Final Fantasy Omnia. And I got to say, of all of the little mobile games I've played, this is by far the one that I've enjoyed the most. The start of this has been absolutely slick. I'm really just trying to like wrang this episode and concept together, aren't I? Okay guys, we're going to use this last section. I'm having to come back on another day to record because all of the footage I recorded the other day was lost, which was a quick news fire round and also unboxing this delicious lady. I did an unboxing, it was dank, but unfortunately we have no footage for it. This is why I can't have nice things. Laugh through the pain, mate. Laugh through the pain. So quick firing the hell out of all the news that I see as kind of interesting here in June, starting with the rumour that Final Fantasy VII Remake could be coming to Xbox. We've heard about this before. People have started thinking that it could be happening. Last month, I think it was, Walmart put the 7 Remake up for pre-order. God damn, I don't know why these companies do it so early, or indeed who would pay for it this early, knowing whether the State 7 Remake is in. But they offered it up as a pre-order and they put Xbox as an option. Now again this week we have a game company in Spain doing the exact same thing. So maybe they're just a bit ignorant about whether it's just coming to PS4. Maybe Square Enix have shifted away from making this some sort of Sony exclusive, which I've really been thinking could be the case. So we'll see, we'll see. Next part I want to talk about is, this kind of creeps me out. Final Fantasy XV is getting a party pack DLC and it's coming tomorrow. Tomorrow at the point I'm recording this. Birthday glasses and these. Masks. I mean, these are really freaking weird. Oh, it's really creepy. And in Comrades, you're going to be able to equip these masks so you can run around with a knocked Gladio, Prompto, and or Ignis face if I so desire. Locke coming to Dissidia NT. So this happened a little while ago. He hasn't come out yet here in the West, but the trailer and the announcement for him came out while I was kind of getting ready for Japan and going over there. I've heard a lot about the people's opinion of just his appearance. Obviously, people haven't played him. Luckily, I have. Yeah, in Japan, I actually managed to get on a Dissidia NT cabinet. I know the footage behind me right now is me playing Warrior of Light. The shit was in Japanese. I couldn't understand. I ended up going into the tutorial 4 times. It was 4 schmeckles until I did get to go with Locke. And he feels really quick, really agile, pretty fun to play. Don't know if he's going to really be my Jambalam. But like Zidane, they've given that really thiefy feeling. Whether they've given him that thiefy, hardened criminal look, not really. He's very androgynous, and I've seen a lot of people complaining about this, saying, Locke Cole, that's not how I imagined him. You've turned him nearly into a tarp, for crying out loud. It seems like this is the Dissidia NT look. Now, Onion Knight kind of looks the same. Cloud and Squall even look very young. They do have very fresh faces, but I'm going to say Lot Cole kind of, I don't know, from his artwork back in the day, the sprites, you couldn't really see how he looked. But when they did the handheld versions, they did make the sprites a bit clearer, and he was quite androgynous-y there. But then there is the Amano artwork, which a lot of people always say that's the quintessential visage of what Lot Cole should look like. Missing a very gaunt, ghoulish, looks like he's done a lot of hard drugs. The kind of harrowed, sunken eyes, they look really different. And then if we compare it to what Lot Cole was once going to be upon a time, I mean, these are just completely different men. They've lived completely different lives. But yeah, Lot Cole, look forward to him. And before we quickly continue on with a few more stories, with the Dissidia, I want to shout out Dissidia Novicia tournaments. So I haven't shouted that out in a while, but I've only recently kind of got back into playing Dissidia NT myself. But this was the tournaments for the Pezzers, for all the Pezzers, for the most skilled of them to the most lowly scrabbiest, which is probably me at this point. This is for anyone who wants to get involved. They've got 2 tournaments this month alone. We'll be doing a Pez Cup next month. Really looking forward to that. We'll be live streaming, trying to do something juicy for that. Is really making its mark. They've started getting some game code endorsements from Square Enix. The tournament numbers have been fantastic. I think they had something like 16 teams involved. So they are doing a really great job. So if you're interested, go to the links in the comment section below. There'll be the Discord there. And if you want to poodle on over to the Facebook group, feel free to say hi. They are a really nice bunch. But getting back to all the things happening in June, which is going to explode come E3, so it's really nice to just do this downtime video. Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, all of these new Return to Ivalice patches. I think they've got 4.3. It's looking really good. So you've got the side story quests of the 4 Lords, the Swallow's Compass, which is the new dungeon, Castrum Fluminous, which is the Trials, probably screwed the pronunciation of that, and then just the Alliance Raid Dungeon Return to Ivalice. I think, I haven't got it in front of me, I think that was the tower, the Pharos Tower, or the one that's on the Pharos Island. It's called Ridorana Tower, but for some reason they've called it Ridorana Lighthouse, I think, in 14, even though it ain't a lighthouse. But yeah, that's 24, man. And seeing all of this, especially because I'm playing Tactics right now, I mean, with all of this Return to Ivalice content, and the fact that they're saying they're going to be doing a new Ivalice game, and that Ivalice is already, by quite a margin, the biggest universe in Final Fantasy. I don't think most people realise that. It has the most games, it has the most content, lore, pretty much fleshing out at this point. I gotta say, I love it. Oh, I do love it. More than anything, I love the dialogue. The dialogue is so beautifully done. The scripting is eloquent as fuck in these games. And it really has just become one of the richest, most expansive universes in the Final Fantasy series. To see FF14 giving it some more love still, and with how excited I am with it for right now, I did jump back on FF14. I reinstated my subscription, but before you get too excited that I'm going to be tanking your dungeons any day soon, I'm still only like level 58. You know when you jump back onto an MMO that you haven't been on for a while, and you've got nothing configured on your proxy keyboard, you don't have your MMO mouse anymore because you broke that as well, because you break everything. I'm at that stage where I have to re-keybind everything, and it is a super overwhelming prospect, but hopefully I can get back into it in full swing. There was also some other little bits of news, like Final Fantasy Zelda bringing Final Fantasy's Cloud to Breath of the Wild in a mod. In his Advent Children outfit, funnily enough. This is just a fan-done mod. I think it's Yam Gaming who did this mod. I'm kind of surprised, actually. I've got to say that we've not had a proper crossover between Zelda and Final Fantasy. There has been history there. Not always good. Sometimes they've stabbed at each other, like the the tombstone that said "Rip Link." The directors of Tekken 7 and Final Fantasy 15 had a quite strange debate about who is better. They went into the fishing skills integrity of Lars and Noctis. Who is better, who is worse, and they really went deep on this. They went into who leans the most, leans forward, leans back, and they came to deduce in the end that because both Noctis and Lars holds in what's called a beginner's position. I don't know, I think it's like one index finger spread across the grip. So they've come to deduce that Noctis is slightly better because he leans less, but ultimately they're still pretty new to fishing. There's a lot of other news going on right now, but I'm just looking at the time and I've really run over. So I'd like to finish off this very hodgepodge series with a little giveaway, update the Wall of the Peasants, and just thank you guys for continuing to support me. And yeah, I'd really like you guys to take this series, this section, and just open the flap and shove in whatever you want. It doesn't have to be any big considerable news, and that's kind of what I really want to use this section for, to be able to cover smaller things. And I really think after E3 we're going to have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. At least I really hope so. If you even want, I might even slip a few Kingdom Hearts pieces into this, because there's going to be a lot of exciting news for that. And yeah, I am. A lot of people have asked, Pez, are you going to be streaming E3? Indeed, ma'am. Hell yes. Going to be streaming it as much as I can around the clock. So if you want to sign in, so thank you so much for watching, guys, and best of luck to the winner of the Patreon giveaway, which I've got some plans to reinvent that particular wheel and maybe change it from the Wall of the Peasants to the Village of the Peasants, or the Harem of the Peasants. Kicking off from Pez Gen Wall 9, we're beginning with Arthane Dartaran, kicking us off on FF12 Ultima. Kirara Evans on the Pocket Edition Prompto. Thank you. Still Angel Vicky on Flighty Carbuncle. Was that in the FF13 paradey thing? These characters are getting elaborate. Thank you. Selena Dobson, very cute. Thomas Bell, very ominous. Hades, love that summon. No Sung, oh yes. The WAF content brings joy to my heart. Thank you, Kevin Barrera. Second to go on Pez Gen Wall 10 as a Pez of Light. Thank you. 2 tickets in today's draw for Bahamut. Nicholas Castro Bautista. Laura J on the drink spiking roofing sociopath bird. Peasant of the round. Rocking his cosplay. We have the man with 3 tickets in today's draws. Thank you very much, Liz McDaniel. Sethbot on Ragnarok. What a gem. Concept Lives on a Lars. Thank you, mate. And finally, another, oh god, it's just too adorable. Avengale on Pale Tombury. Or, no, Baby Palebury. Here is a plethora of presenty goods that our today's winner could choose from. Actually, let's make it 2. Let's make it 2 winners. So let's begin. I've got my random number generator here. Just to click verify 107, 174. It's randomly generating. So today's winners are number 308 and best of luck. Cross your fingers. 73. 308 and 73. Checking out my wee little updated alphabetical chart with all your names. 3 if you're a Peasant of Light, 2 if you're a Dawner, and 1 if you're round. And 308 is Lynn the Chaotic Heretic. You are the winner. Congratulations, buddy. And next we have 73, who is Bugenhagen. The beautiful ball bouncing old geezer he is. Thank you so much, guys, and there's the rest of your names. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Hope this helped fill the Final Fantasy fulfillment void and got you all crystalled up for the day ahead. Peace and love until the next video. Kupo!